Steve, we're going to talk about both shows. We're going to do them individually because we kick-started our new season, or the new shows from when lockdown started, on Friday night, and from something that ended up being what we thought might be a disaster show, actually turned out to be not a bad little show.
Yeah, we ended up calling it a nightmare, didn't we? Because it was a nightmare. You know, I had 3 of the worst days of my life last week just trying to pull that show together, making it that it was all matched up and it was all fall out and there was the end result was we got 6 fighters work, and it wasn't a bad show. I'm not saying it was a great show, but it wasn't a bad show. So we got 6 out. Unfortunately, there was 4 people that, through no fault of our own, we had to let down, who should have been fighting, which is a negative, but they always say take the positives. And the positives, we did a show, it was a good show, and we got 6 kids out and fighting, mate, yeah.
Yeah, obviously what ended up being top of the bill was a bad night for us in Tom Farrell. You got any takes on that?
Well, to say, let's start from what was the last fight rather than going the other way around. Yeah, Tom Farrell, what I would say is, for anybody who tuned in on the virtual reality filming on Digicells Live, or whoever watched on the VIPboxing.com YouTube, seen a belting fight, didn't they? Had everything in it that you needed for an exciting fight. Personal point of view, I'm gutted that Tom lost. He had a slow start, got put over with a jab which come out of nowhere. He was through from a silly position and caught him square. Anyway, obviously he wasn't hurt, but close round, made him lose that 10-8. He was definitely winning the second, and then he thinks he fell over the feet of the referee, but he tripped, and he had been it when he's got over, so he's lost that 10-8. He should have won it 10-9 really, but he's gone over, can't really complain. Third round he's gone over again in a close round, so it's another 10-8. So when you're looking at it, after 3 rounds he's 30-24 behind. You know, he just can't win. But he's come back, he's won the 5th, he's the 4th, he's won the 5th. He's put him over himself. It wasn't a big knockdown similar to his. The kid wasn't hurt. So he's lost the fight, I think it was 56-54, but if he'd have got a 10-9 instead of an 8-10, he'd have won the fight. So, you know, they're the sort of fights you want to be putting on, you know, where the punters are getting value from one in close.
We knew it was going to be a good fight though, didn't we?
Yeah.
He's been on our show on news, he fought Danny Wright, he fought Ryan Mulcahy, he fought last time on our show he fought Mason Cartwright, and he always gave him good fights.
He's a proper tough, I don't like to call him a journeyman, he's a danger man. He's obviously lost more than he's won, but I knew it would be an hard fight for Tom, but I did think he would win, and like, he probably can fight a lot better than he did on Friday night. He had a torrid time, but he nearly got the win anyway, so obviously he's lost, which isn't good, but you know, I'm sure one more win and he'll be back in title fights and hopefully back down to light welterweight. He wasn't big enough for a welterweight.
No, that Populous is a big welterweight.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to fight 1. Fight 1 was Sean Arkwright making his debut against Jordan Grantham.
Yeah. Do you know what I like more about anything was that he kind of smiled all the way through his ring walk, and he was smiling all the way through. He just absolutely loved the occasion, and you know, he sold a load of tickets. The atmosphere was great, and put on a good performance. I'd never seen him fight, and I was impressed with his footwork more than anything.
I've been impressed with him.
But he sells tickets. And you know what, when you look back and think that the show could maybe have not gone ahead because you couldn't get so many fights, and we did let some people down who was going to make the debuts, but you see the enjoyment he got out of that debut, it makes you feel glad that, you know, you persevered and went through, and the show went on.
And then we had the Isle of Man's Matthew Rennie. His first fight under the new guidance of Dave and Mike Jennings.
Yeah.
Looked to see a few little.
Yeah, he looked more solid pro than he has done in the past, didn't he? You know, he'd settled down and he put the kid over properly at the end of the first round, and
that's the first time as well.
And you know how hard it is matching, and he's got his opponent and a couple of other showers of hours, and you know, even though I should have felt good for Matt, I'm thinking, oh no, there's another headache. But no, he did really well, and I think if he can keep improving like that, you know, it won't be long before he's in big fights.
No, definitely not. And then it was a last minute makeshift one. We had Marcus Malloy against a much bigger Josh Digham.
John Hodges, wasn't
Hodges,
yeah. Listen, you could probably call that a fun fight, couldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, weight wise, it wasn't a fair fight, but ability wise, we always knew that Marcus Malloy was going to be okay in there, and you know, it's another one of those. He either fights him and gives the weight away, or doesn't fight. And I'm glad that he said, "So bollocks, I'm fighting."
I enjoyed it though. I really enjoyed it. I thought he's got a great style. That Marcus Malloy. Like I was saying in one of the interviews with him, that even when he's going backwards, he looks like he's coming forwards.
He's easy on the eye. He's the sort of fighters I like, and I think the only thing we've got to do with him, and let's say half of it was my fault on Friday night to give that weight away and put weight on. The other half, I think he knows himself that when he's on his runs, he's got to run past the chipper and then start getting his weight down. But you know, that's something we'll talk about.
His coach Declan's telling him all the time he's a super featherweight, and he keeps arguing with him. But I think we'll get him there. But real talent. And then I thought it was a really good performance from Nathan Quarles.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I was half expecting a stoppage off Nathan on Friday, but he had a couple of times where he dropped him, and it was a very disciplined performance, and he looked really solid. So again, that's giving me confidence that he's ready to be pushed on as well now. So I think come November he'll be doing an 8-rounder with a decent opponent, and then you can start seeing where he is. We'll just go on to you.
And then the penultimate fight was Tom Atkinson against, I can't pronounce the kid's name, but he was a tough kid.
Yeah, he was a game kid, and for the full 6 rounds he was trying to win, wasn't he? And you know, I've not really sat down with Tom and spoke about it, but they're the sort of fights that'll bring him on, and he's a very talented fighter, and you know, he's had your journeyman, and no disrespect to them, he's above that, and he's shown again on Friday night that he's capable of fighting people who want to come and want to win, and that's part of the education. And you know, again, he's only young, there's no rush with him, but you know, he's someone that'll be fighting for titles, and these sort of fights will give him the experience which can help him win when he gets into it.
He's not as young as he actually looks, you know, because I think he's 26 coming up now. But you have moved him fairly quickly, because I mean, he'd only had the 3 fights prior to that, the 3 4-rounders, and obviously the 18 months out that everyone's had because of the pandemic. He's come straight back into a 6-rounder, so I think it says a lot about Tom, that he really does want to push himself and see how far he can go.
Yeah. And do you know what? I thought he was about 23. I didn't realise he was 26. So you know, listen, that was the right fight for him. Performed well. Again, sold a load of tickets. His fans want to see him in fights, and they'll be coming back, won't they? You know what I mean?
Did you? I don't know what they were singing, but it was weird stuff they were singing all the way through the fight.
Yeah. But they're from Wigan, aren't they? So you can excuse them.
It's Skelmsdale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brogan land. Well, obviously, we're just beginning that madness. I'm going to catch up with you in a couple of days, because hopefully we'd have finalised the shows this weekend, because we've got back-to-back shows this weekend.
Yeah, we're back at it, aren't we? You know, obviously I've said numerous times now, it's probably a bit naive trying to get everybody out and put 6 shows on in September, but we're going to fight our way through it. I'm back up here after the Josh Wellington fight last night, Sunday morning, on the phone with the matchmakers, phoning managers, phoning international agents, just to make sure tonight we broke the back on it, and we've got most of the kids matched up for next Saturday and Sunday.
Well, I'll probably catch up with you on Tuesday or Wednesday, and you can fill us in on what's happening on Saturday and Sunday.
No problem. Thanks for coming down, Lee.
Nice one, kiddo.
Cheers.
Later, mate.
Bye-bye.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.